Hi there everyone, are you looking to level up your pumpkin soup, add lots of extra protein? Well, I have a soup for you. This is my healthy pumpkin and tofu soup with a chickpea crumble. Doesn't it look amazing? So first thing we're going to start prepping. So this soup comes together really quickly when everything's prepped, but we do need to get the pumpkin in the oven for about an hour before we're ready to cook the soup. So you do need to think a little bit in advance. So I've already gone ahead and de-seeded this pumpkin, and I'm just taking off those outer layers. Now you can use any type of pumpkin that you like. This one is I think it's a Jarrah pumpkin or a Jack pumpkin, I can't remember. But depending on where you are in the world, you will know what is the best pumpkin for this kind of dish in your area. What you want to do is you're going to try and get these into fairly similar shapes, just so it all cooks at the same time. So I'm going to go for kind of that size. Now the thing about roasting your pumpkin, you don't actually have to do this step, but roasting it develops the flavours. It gives it kind of a richness to the soup that is just delicious. So if you have the time, highly recommend that you don't skip this step. I'm just going to pop onto my baking tray. Oh, forgot to turn the oven on. So I'm going to pop my oven on to 180 degrees. I think that's 350 if you're in the US. Gosh, that's a bit of a workout. Alright, next thing that we want to do is we want to pop an onion onto the tray. So onion cooked slowly in the oven kind of develops this really yummy kind of syrupy richness. So what I'm going to do, I think I'll just cut that in half and pop it straight on the tray like that. I'm actually going to put 2 onions in this soup. One I'm going to put on the tray and roast. My tissues. And one is going to go in with the broth. Next you're going to roast a garlic. Now roasting a garlic mellows the flavour. It also makes it so it's really squishy and delicious. So that goes on the tray just like that. Let's prepare our chickpea croutons. So I have 1 can of chickpeas. I am going to drain it over a bowl because I want to keep some of that aquafaba. So that aquafaba is perfect egg substitute. It's good in your dressings. You can make meringues out of it. If you haven't used that before, after you finish watching this video, have a bit of a Google and have a look at that. So even though I'm going to use some of the aquafaba, I am going to rinse these beans really well actually. I'm going to chuck my chickpeas into a bowl and about a tablespoon of the aquafaba. Now the aquafaba in this case is going to act instead of oil, so that will just help all the spices to stick to them. Also to help the spices stick, I have a little bit of date molasses. You want to make sure that you don't have your oven too hot if you're using this because it can make them burn. So I might have to just keep an eye on them. So our spices for these ones are garlic powder. Let's chuck a little. Yeah, we'll chuck a little bit on there as well. Onion powder. And the star of the show is this Moroccan spice. So I can't say that. I'm going to put it up on screen. So this is what it is. This has all the warm kind of spices of Morocco and pairs really beautiful with our pumpkin. Now this one, I want to get quite a lot of that onto my goodies as well. Quickly get those chickpeas all incorporated. Now that's actually a bit runnier than it needs to be, so I'm going to get some tapioca starch. And that will give those chickpeas a nice little coating that potentially will kind of get a little bit crunchier. See what I've done there? We want to make sure we've got enough room to spread these out a wee little bit. Some of that yummy spice over the top. Try and get it into one layer. More of that spice. Alright, that's our prep done. That's going to go into the oven now, and I will see you back here in about an hour. Now that has been 45 minutes. I've checked it once and I have stirred up the chickpeas and also added a little bit of salt, but I'll add some more salt as well in a sec. Alright. Now because I put the cornstarch in, what I've got is this kind of situation. I'm not overly bothered about that because that will all just break up into little pieces and that will also be really lovely on top of the soup. But maybe on reflection and next time I do it, I'll put a little less aquafaba in there and so I wouldn't need the cornstarch. They're not as crunchy as I'd like them to be, but I don't want them to burn. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start cooking the soup and I'll put the pumpkin and all the other goodies in the stock pot, and I'm going to return this to the oven with the oven off. So what that will do is it will continue to dry them out so they're as crunchy as they can be. What was it coming over here for? I can't remember. Oh, salt! Alright, a bit of salt. And they're fork tender, so that's great. Into my stock pot, we're going to pop all of that yummy goodness. There we go. That's got it. In with my onion. Oh, I was going to saute the other onion before I put all this in. Plan B. Spread them out a little bit more so they can really dry out in the oven. I'll just leave that on for a second till it gets back to temperature and then I'll turn it off. Time to prep other ingredients just quickly. So, our second onion that we're going to saute. I'm going to pop that in the pan. I'm ready to turn the oven off now. Just let those chickpeas continue to dry out. Alright, those onions can be sauteing down while we chop our carrots. So as always, I'm not going to bother peeling my carrots. And here's the fun part, that garlic. I think I'm going to use about half of it. And then you just squeeze in that garlic. Often it's a lot softer than this. Oh, there we go. Can you see squeezing that out? Woo! It's just a bit hot, so I'm trying not to burn myself here. Lovely. More in there. Now the reason why I put carrots into my pumpkin soup is because pumpkin soup is nice if it has that really orange flavour. Real orange colour. So carrots just help get that out. These go into our pot. Let's not forget the onions. We don't want to burn them. I'm turning them right down. And I'm going to add some water. So I have done that thing again where I forgot to press record. So what I've done in here, I've popped in some stock. I've popped in so there's our carrots, our roasted vegetables, our stock. I did put a sprinkle more of the I'm not going to say it. And obviously our sauteed onions have gone in there as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put this on the burner until those carrots are soft. So that's going to be about 20 minutes. So I will see you back here in 20 minutes. That's been about 20 minutes now. So let's get that off the stove. Oh yes, that's looking good. Now, time to add all the rest of the goodies. Then we blend it up and it is good to go. Yum. Break them up. Another taste. Yummy. They need a little bit of salt. A little bit of smoked paprika. Right, forgot to press play again. We have just added a tablespoon of tahini, a splash of ground cayenne pepper. I think a bit more of that actually. We've put some miso paste in there, about a dessert spoon, tablespoon of vegan Worcestershire sauce, some black pepper, about a teaspoon of paprika that's smoked, and 1/4 cup of nutritional yeast. And the tofu is 300 grams of silken tofu. And we also put in some date molasses, about a tablespoon of that. All right, give it a blend with your blender. Let's give that a quick taste. It's going to need a little bit more salt. And I think a little bit more Worcestershire sauce will do the trick. And maybe a bit more heat. More of our star spice. Because I like it spicy. Actually, let's hit it with some extra cinnamon. And a wee splash of apple cider vinegar. Another taste, see how we're going. Oh, it's really silky. I would like it to be a little bit sweeter. So I'm going to put in another tablespoon of date molasses. Let's pop that in a bowl. Looks delicious. Creamy and delicious. And quite thick, which is exactly how I wanted it. So creamy and silky with that tofu. Now adding that block of tofu was, let me have a look, that added 14 grams of protein. And with the chickpeas, we're going to be another, I think, 14. So nearly 30 grams of protein in all of that. Right, that's a big serving. I'm just going to bump it down to level it off a little bit. Coming close, I'll show you how we're going to dress it. We are going to sprinkle on some paprika and some sumac. Now, sumac is a beautiful Moroccan spice, and it's little berries, so it's got sort of an acidic, kind of citrusy kind of flavour, but lots of that because that is just the taste of Morocco in my mind. Now we're going to go in with a whole big handful of those chickpeas. Oh, delicious. And some parsley to give us a little bit of green. And maybe just top it with a tiny bit of nooch on the top. Yeah, that's pretty. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, that's really delicious. It's packed with Moroccan spices. This one is a winner, my friends. You're going to want to try this one.